Shalom Israel, it's your humble butterfly. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell. As you can see, Torah prophecy is unfolding right before our very eyes. And all we seem to hear about is Babylon's New World Order. But let's also not forget the New World Order of the Most High. In this lesson, I will be going over Babylon's New World Order versus the Most High's New World Order. This video is not being presented to provoke fear, but rather to bring understanding to those that may be in the dark or lost, and also to bring hope and encouragement to those that are walking faithfully in the Most High's laws. And like I always say, peace be the journey.
The Freemason plan has always been to kill the creator. So everything that's involved in the Freemason plan, Big Bang, evolution, dinosaurs, infinite space, they're all part of the same story. Kill God. If the Big Bang was real, then God becomes a lot less likely.
Hi there, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
I am so sorry, that flight is canceled.
No.
Customer incident at the other end.
So when is the next flight?
Yeah, they're all kind of full.
I booked this weeks ago. It's my best friend's wedding.
I'm sorry.
I have to get there. I have to.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
I see there's one standby seat on another plane leaving tonight. That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You gotta be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183.
Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the couch. Can't you just...
I'm sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
But it's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language there.
Sorry, it's just... I'm maid of honor. I cannot miss this wedding.
And I am so sorry about that.
Can you call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Can you just call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Call the fucking supervisor.
Okay, that's profanity. We're zero tolerance on profanity.
I'm sorry, it's just...
Yeah, I have to serve the next customer.
No.
Step away, ma'am.
God, just fucking help me!
I'm so sorry. I've called security.
Oh, no, please don't do that. I'm a 5-star on you. 5 stars?
What's the issue here, Hannah?
Intimidation and profanity.
Oh, no, I was not
Don't
intimidating.
speak, ma'am.
I was just trying to...
Okay, so, in order to restore calm, I'm invoking my authority as airport security to dock you 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure. This is a temporary measure.
No!
The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I need it now.
Period. All downvotes are subject to a ×2 multiplier.
×2?
We recommend you avoid negative feedback at this time.
I'm on double damage?
Please, remove yourself from the airport immediately.
Babylon's New World Order is to decapitate you of all your rights, freedom of speech, and privacy, and all those that will not comply to their order will reap the consequences. These plans took place long ago, way before you or I was around, and we can find it in Scripture. Psalms 83 verses 3 through 5 says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee."
The baseline for each citizen is 1,000 points per person, in which the government gives so there is a constant equality amongst its citizens. The scores are part of a tiered rating system, which rates them based on their credit worthiness, going a step above the caste system of countries like India to give people a score determining the privileges they're allowed or punishments they must endure. For scores 1050 and over, ranked as AAA or AA, you get benefits like healthcare priority, free healthcare checks under the age of 64, and get to reap the rewards at the top of the social hierarchy. Now for scores between 960 and 1029 points, ranked as A+, A or A-, your kids get priority for certain schools, and the government can also give you the privilege of becoming a model citizen for the rest of society for publicity. School enrollment depends on model citizen status, and you will get preferential care and treated better in employment with preference over other candidates that apply for the same job. Scores between 850 and 959, ranked as B, are locked into that rank for 2 years with the obligation to have lectures on how to be a better citizen with visits of government officials and experts. You are essentially subjected to re-education. C rank, scores between 600 and 849, are locked into that rank for 3 years before you can move up rank. Government visits and inspections are routine, and you will be kept on a list where your information will be stored by government officials to keep tabs on you. You cannot receive welfare, cannot win awards or honours, and cannot run for political office. The lowest rank, D, for scores below 599, are seen as the lowest of the low. Regarded as untrustworthy by the government, you are locked into D rank for 5 years before you can rank up. You're publicly blacklisted and revoked of all titles and qualifications you've obtained. You're subject to lose your job, government funding, and travel ability. You are rewarded or penalised depending on the actions you commit that the state defines as good and bad. For example, talking negatively about the government or an official on social media will have you lose a lot of points. Any sort of political dissidence is penalised by the CCP, and they will be sure that you know your place when talking about them in such a way. The government will do whatever they can to get rid of you and silence any criticism of the status quo.
Trump has announced that he will be giving a speech at Madison Square Garden on October the 27th. Please Google Madison Square Garden, February the 10th, 1939, and see what happened there. They are telling you exactly what they're going to do.
I pledge undivided allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, American patriots, I'm sure I do not come before you tonight as a complete stranger. You all have heard of me through the Jewish-controlled press as a creature with horns, a cloven hoof, and a long tail. We, with American ideals, demand that our government shall be returned to the American people who founded it.
If you ask what we are actively fighting for under our charter, first, a social just white Gentile who rules the United States.
Now, if you were listening to the video, their New World Order back then was to have an all-white Gentile nation. And if you also notice, they left out God in their Pledge of Allegiance. When we were in school, it said one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. But purposely, they left that out, which makes sense because the Creator is not in their plan. Only their own creations.
But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 like that. So, and what can it do? It can do anything you want. So it can just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind.
Ever heard of the New World Order conspiracy? It's the idea that a secretive, powerful elite is working to create a single, global authoritarian government. This elite is said to include influential figures from politics, finance, and industry, all aiming to control the world's population. Believers point to several pieces of supposed evidence: secretive meetings like the Bilderberg Group, symbols hidden in popular culture, and global organizations like the United Nations. They argue that these are tools for implementing policies that erode national sovereignty and personal freedoms. The ultimate goal? To establish a unified world government with total control over every aspect of life. Critics say it's just a modern twist on older conspiracies like the Illuminati, often lacking concrete evidence. Whether you see it as a warning against unchecked power or dismiss it as paranoia, the New World Order conspiracy theory continues to captivate and provoke debate.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Mr. Gates, in your own words, what have you contributed to the world?
I'm not sure if you're aware, but I created the world's most popular computer operating system.
No, of course. But as we all know, it wasn't actually you who created it. As a matter of fact, the predecessor of Windows, MS-DOS, was created by Gary Kildall, which you then basically stole from him for a couple of dollars.
It's not just development. There's a whole lot of important factors to running an enormously successful company like Microsoft.
So then let's leave the computer world for a moment. You have been a major spokesperson for COVID vaccines during the pandemic.
Yes.
What exactly makes you, a computer engineer who didn't even program his initial product himself, a valid representative of the pharmaceutical industry?
I have read a lot of books about that topic.
But how does that?
Wait a second. And met with specialists from the field all over the world.
Mr. Gates, with all due respect, how do you feel about it now? Now that it's becoming more and more evident that the medication you were promoting, whilst having heavily invested in it yourself, thus making billions of it,
this is not how the world works,
has caused countless injuries, side effects, and death.
That's a very immature way of looking at it, quite frankly.
So here's my final question to you. Is this a behavioral pattern?
What do you mean exactly?
Taking technology from other people that you don't understand, selling a product full of bugs, causing massive damage and profiting from it in a spectacular way.
No. This is not how the world works.
Can you sleep at night?
Okay, that's enough. This interview is over. Thank you.
We read in Psalms 83 that they are confederate against us and have joined together with one consent to tear us down from being a nation. As you just seen, Kamala Harris is on the bandwagon of population control as well. And your friendly neighborhood Negro, Obama, is on the same bandwagon, even to the point where starting an uproar with our brothers.
Now, that little rant inspired some feedback from members of the black community, male and female.
I want Barack Obama and every Democrat out there to know, you do not own black people. We are not slaves. Our chains are gone. We do not owe you anything, and we don't have to give you an account for how we choose to vote.
The Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. But if it was a white politicians shaming other white men for not voting based on identity politics, y'all will call him racist. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me? Why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That is racist, brother. I don't know how else to put it. That is racism. I don't have to vote for Kamala because she's quote unquote black. Just like I shouldn't have voted for yo because you got up there, you tap dance for the establishment, and you ain't do a goddamn for the black people that put you in office. You, brother.
You ain't did a thing for us in them 8 years that you was in the White House. And you think you gonna pop up during an election year and try to scold black men for not wanting to vote for your candidate? Have you lost mind?
I spent 7 years of my life fighting your administration, you and Biden, by the way, for my husband's military benefits. My daughter died because of Obamacare. I don't give a about you.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it, and she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
What you thought you was doing, Barack Obama? Boy, you done stepped out there. All you did was black men off, bruh. All you did was black men off. Why y'all think the American people why y'all think the Democrat Party own black folk? The Democrat Party don't own black folks, bruh. What you thought you was doing with that? We see the play. We know we see the play. Kamala Harris is losing. She's not gonna win.
The audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
Brothers and sisters, it does not matter which side you vote for. We are commanded by the Most High not to vote for either side. Remember Psalms 83. They have gathered together with one consent. So the red or the blue, they are cousins. They are working together to destroy a nation. Congress set January 7, 1789 as the date by which states are required to choose electors for the country's first ever president election. A month later, on February 7th, George Washington was elected president by state electors and sworn into office on April 30th, 1789. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that that wasn't the best year for Negroes. So our vote for sure did not count back then. As it did in 1789, the United States still uses the electoral college system, which today gives all American citizens over the age of 18 the right to vote for electors, who in return votes for the president. The president and vice presidents are the only elected federal officials chosen by the electoral college instead of by direct popular vote. Now through Torah, let's see what the Most High says about this wicked system. According to Torah, should Israel vote, and if we do, will our voice be heard? Exodus chapter 18, we'll start at verse 17. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both you and the people with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto the voice. I will give thee counsel, and the Most High will be with thee. Be thou for thy people Godward, that thou mayest bring the cause unto the Most High. And thou shalt teach them ordinance and laws, and shall show them the way wherein thou must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide of all the people able men. So this would be our Congress, such as fear the Most High, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. From the beginning of time, we only kept those to rule over us that kept the law, statutes, and commandments, and also they were from our tribes. These people that are established today are not our people. Babylon's wicked system has never been for us. This is why you vote for them and still have to march. Proverbs 28:15 says, "As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over a poor people." Also, you can read in Proverbs 29:2, which says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn."
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
If you've been feeling the shift in the world, here's why. We are about to enter the last period in a 180-year cycle called Period 9, according to Chinese astrology. The last 20 years was ruled by the earth element, which is why agriculture, real estate, higher education, especially institutional education, and young men were main focus, like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos. The next 20 years, we're shifting into the fire element. So this is all about technology, creativity, artificial intelligence, women. But what does this mean for you? Two different types of non-physical worlds are going to grow astronomically. The first is cloud-based technology, artificial intelligence, electricity, internet, 5G, anything remote, AR, VR, metaverse, ET, satellites, you name it. Yes, I do think we're going to come into alien/ET contact. The second area of non-physical world that's going to come into major focus is the spiritual world, the psychic world, the shamanic journey. There will be major conversations and developments around remote viewing, remote travel, spiritual intelligence, heart-based intelligence. There might even be a cure for Alzheimer's or schizophrenia, anything that is the disease of the mind or the brain. And I truly believe that the people who don't keep up with the developments of these two intangible worlds are going to feel lackluster, left behind, emotionless, kind of numb.
This is the video that Bill Gates put together, along with the team, complete with simulated news reports like this. This is really what they're preparing for us. This video is called Get Ready. Watch. Catastrophic contagion, a global challenge. Breaking news.
Two Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome 2025.
Oh, so that's the name, guys. Just write this down. That'll be the name of it, okay? It's SEERS. It's going to be called the Severe Epidemic Enterovirus Respiratory Syndrome, and 2025 is when we'll see it, okay? Now, it says at the bottom this is a fictional scenario, but come on.
That's crazy. Look at that. That's just horrible. Let me explain what's going on. What you're seeing right now is a Black Hawk helicopter in western North Carolina. And what they're doing is sabotaging a volunteer supply zone. Okay. Basically a donation site in western North Carolina. These are the people that are supporting the natives out there, supporting people in western North Carolina, like Asheville, for example. There are a lot of spots out there where the American people took it upon themselves to help Americans because they see that the government is doing things like this, literally sabotaging donation zones where people could pick up supplies and pick up food for free, things that they need. They're essentials. But yet some unmarked Black Hawk helicopter was sabotaging the area. What they did was hovered over the area and rotor washed it. That's not, look at that. That's not good. That's not good at all. And like, for what? Nobody requested that. I mean, what was that going to do? You made everybody suffer from having to clean all that up? Who's going to answer to this? And I trust these sources because these are people that are actually there, boots on the ground. They're not making this up. I'm also going to play a video of somebody capturing what it looked like on the other side of this. And that I'm pretty sure the audio is going to pick back up because there was no music there. Look at that. And then the Black Hawk flies away. What was that about? Look at that. That's the Black Hawk.
Look at that. Look what they did. Look what they did. Look what that helicopter did. Ah, come on, man. Oh my gosh.
As you can tell, the Most High is opening the eyes of his people and giving us a clear vision of who our enemies are. It's important to keep up with their new world order so we know how to prepare, but there is no need for Israel to fear their so-called new world order, because the Most High from the beginning of time had already set his order in place. Through our disobedience, we were discontinued from our heritage, but all of Israel is now waking up. We are still under the curses of Deuteronomy 28, but in the Most High's new world order, we are told that in the last days, the eyes and ears of his children will be reopened again. We will remember who we are, and we will repent for the sins of our ancestors and the sins that we are committing currently today, and soon return back to his laws, statutes, and commandments.
African Americans and Africans in the Caribbean, or Africans anywhere in the diaspora, we need to understand that we have an identity crisis. We need to know who we are. Who are we? It is a question we must answer. It is a question of who do we teach our children their ancestors are, and what is our true nationality, our ethnicity, our identity. National identity and our ethnicity is not about religion. Identity is one's generation, one's roots, and national identification. National identity is exactly, specifically, and precisely the questions that Black folks or Africans must seek to answer. In order to truly understand what identity is, you must have an identity. One must live and be who or he or she is. Overwhelmingly, all evidence points former slaves to history connected with the Bible. The world is inundated with facts which prove the true heritage of former African slaves transported to the Americas, that they are none other than Israelites in ancient biblical history.
Deuteronomy 28:46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
The suffering of persecution is a significant part of the Israelites' warning for disobedience. By acknowledging and understanding this history, we begin to understand why Yah would allow the suffering of those spread throughout the diaspora.
Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenedst not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
It was the law, statutes, and commandments that we broke, which was the Most High's world order for Israel. It is time for us to return to our heritage, repent, and remember who we are.
Born of Leah, who cried unto the Lord in her affliction. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defiledst thou it. Genesis 49 verses 3-4 KJV. Our history ebbs and flows like the water, and though our tribe may have faded into the chronicles of the past, but our lineage is enduring, with traces said to be found across northern Africa and the Middle East. I am Simeon, named for the Lord's hearing of Leah's sorrow. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Genesis 49 verse 7 KJV. Scattered indeed we were, our fate intertwined with that of Judah, and it is whispered that our descendants have mingled with the nations, from the Fertile Crescent to the hidden corners of Africa. Levi I am, sprung from Leah's longing for closeness with my father Jacob. Set apart for the Lord, they shall teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. Deuteronomy 33 verse 10 KJV. We bore the ark and pronounced his word, and while our land allotment was within our brethren's borders, our influence spread through biblical Israel and, in time, with the Jewish diaspora across continents, resonating in the synagogues of Africa. Judah, my name, hailed by Leah in praise. From me arises the line of David, and he who is called the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Revelation 5 verse 5. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Genesis 49 verse 10 KJV. Through the tribulations of exile, our identity remained, flourishing through the Second Temple era to the far reaches of the world, including the Beta Israel of Ethiopia. I am Dan, son of Bilhah, Rachel's maid whom Leah gave to Jacob. A serpent on the path, Dan shall judge his people. Genesis 49 verse 16. Though our allotment was near the Philistine plain, some recount our steps leading to distant lands, interlacing with the great kingdoms of Africa where judgment and strength found a new dawn. Naphtali, my name, springs from Bilhah's resilience. I was eloquent and swift. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words. Genesis 49 verse 21. My free spirit has ventured far. The tales of our kin possibly whispered in the highlands and valleys of Africa. Gad. My mother was Zilpah, Leah's maid. I rose to be known for might. A troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Genesis 49 verse 19 KJV. The echoes of our valor in battle have resounded through the ages, and though dispersed, the strength of God is chronicled in the histories of peoples across the world, including the great kingdoms of North Africa. Asher, conceived by Zilpah, woven into the fabric of Jacob's legacy with threads of joy and plenty. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Genesis 49 verse 20 KJV. Like the olive branches that prosper in the soil of our inheritance, so too has our heritage prospered. It is believed by some that the seeds of our lineage have dispersed to the fertile crescents of Africa, to where our ancestral blessings mingled with the splendor of its ancient empires. Issachar. Leah bore me in a tent of knowledge. Issachar is a strong donkey, lying down between two burdens. Genesis 49 verse 14. Our understanding of the times guided our path through history, and perhaps into the cradle of ancient biblical and African wisdom where our burden of knowledge was shared. Zebulun, conceived in Leah's hope and born under a mariner star. Genesis 49 verse 13 says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and his border shall be unto Zidon. My tribe, destined for the whispers of the waves, the call of distant shores, embarked on voyages that transcended mere geography. The sons of Zebulun, intrepid explorers and astute traders, sailed beyond the horizon to where the sea meets the sky. In our ships, laden with treasures from afar, we wove a network of commerce that connected the world. I am Joseph, the dreamer, the beloved son of Rachel and Jacob. Genesis 49 verse 22 says, Joseph is a fruitful vine near a spring, whose branches climb over a wall. Betrayed and sold, I rose in Egypt from a slave to Pharaoh's trusted advisor. My story is one of resilience and redemption, from interpreting dreams in a dungeon to guiding a nation through famine. My journey, a testament to faith and foresight, bridges Canaan and Egypt, shaping the destiny of a people. Benjamin, the beloved of Rachel, the last of Jacob's sons. Genesis 49 verse 27 KJV says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, in the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Our tribe, fierce and valiant, may have journeyed far in the aftermath of Jerusalem's fall. In Africa, our legacy could be traced in the tales of warriors and hunters, our prowess and tactics inspiring the legends and lore of the mighty hunters and fierce warriors that grace the continent's rich history.
Together, the 12th tribe formed a constellation of experiences as vast and enduring as the stars themselves, shaping not just our nation, but the world beyond.
Jehovah's Witness admits blacks are Hebrew Israelites.
So first things first, let me give a little bit of background about myself. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness up until I was about 18. Something just didn't feel right. I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. I've been watching the Black Hebrew Israelites on YouTube, and I've been learning a lot. I just felt like everything that I've been learning, I feel like now it's my responsibility, now that I know the truth, to get it out there. Hoping that by me doing this video, that maybe it will help to wake up some of the other Black Hebrew Israelites. I see them on the videos, I read their comments, and a lot of them are just like, the Bible's not talking about us, that can't be us. Like, that's not us. And I want you to know that yes, it is talking about you.
Psalms 1 says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper."
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.